Dear Elijah and Elena, I do not fear stepping outside of the door in the morning or at night. I am not scared of living in America. I am a proud American. I have been fortunate that people who do not share my skin color, some folks who don't even share my religion, have shown me that my black life has mattered. I've been shown that before a popular slogan came to be, and I have been shown that since that slogan has gotten popular. And I hope to raise my African American son and my African American daughter to not be fearful of living in America, to be proud Americans, to know that there may come a time, it's quite possible, that they might cross paths with a racist or come into contact with racism. Daddy can honestly say that I have not. Daddy has, I may have, when I was a child, I believe there was another Caucasian kid that called me the N word, and I think I pelted him with rocks with a family member. Um, and besides that, there may have been another time where I dealt with a person being more biased or more prejudiced. So I have a lazy eye, and it was much worse when I was a child. And a Caucasian older male said he thought I looked like not Samuel L. Jackson, but Sammy Davis Jr. My parents thought that was just ignorant because they were like, "You look nothing like Sammy Davis Jr. One, and your skin is darker than his too." And the only reason that he probably said that is because your eyes lazy and because you're African American. So, besides those moments, I don't think I've ever really dealt with any actual racism, actual bigotry, actual prejudice that has kept me down. I've dealt with people saying ignorant statements that showed that they were ignorant or possibly racist, more than likely just prejudice. So I've dealt with Caucasian people who were amazed that I spoke quote unquote good English. Um, uh, I've crossed paths with people who I actually met a guy who I went to high school with. I realized I did a ride along with the guy who he graduated. I went to Lithia Springs High School, graduated class of 2003, and he graduated the year before me, and I did a ride along with him, and uh, we had a conversation in the car, and I realized that he might have because of he said it was constant run-ins with certain criminal elements that shared my skin color, but I think he might have been prejudiced. My point being is that I think you will find different people that may have some implicit bias. That there are some people that might actually have actual stronger prejudices that may lean towards racism or being racist. However, I cannot say that any of the jobs I've ever held, many of the people I've crossed paths with in general have ever held me down due to their biased viewpoint, or even if I've seen it. And many times I haven't had any supervisor of mine that I felt was biased or showed me that they were clearly biased. Many times I felt like I was held back from getting a job or something like that because of my own resume, because I didn't have an extra degree or didn't have the years experience that was needed or what have you. So I don't really feel like I live in a time where I need to be afraid in America, or I need to be scared in America. What I hope to raise my children to believe and know that there's going to be things that happen in America by different people that are that you will be unhappy with. There will be different skin colors. There will be from different social classes, different religions, different views, different genders. Because we're not perfect people. We all make bad decisions. And I also want them to realize you don't have to be scared crossing paths with police officers. I think I can count on both hands how many times I've actually been pulled over by police officers, and on one hand how many times I've actually ever gotten a ticket. So that being said, and many times it was been because I was speeding. Excuse me. I wasn't pulled over because he was just, because the police officers would just seem like they came across as seeming to just be pulling me over because they thought I was doing something weird or something in my car. I always remember what my father told me, which was you pull over the side of the road, you go ahead, you put your window down, you turn maybe your dome light on if it's nighttime, you turn your car off, make sure no music's blaring, what have you. Hands on the wheel, 3 and 9 or 2 and 10 or whatever it was. And so when they came up, I'm looking at them, hello officer, how may I help you? And they told me what they needed, get your registration, driver's license, insurance, whatever it is. And I'd say loudly, hey, I'm going to lean over to my glove compartment and get my stuff. Okay, so you can see my hands, and let them know what I was doing, and did it. And I don't remember ever feeling like the police officer was going to have his hand on the gun or shoot me or what have you. And I'm not saying it could never happen. I'm just saying it has not happened. Obviously, because I'm still living and I don't have any bullet wounds in me. So my point being is that this narrative or this thing that's stated whenever an African American person is harmed by a police officer or is killed by a police officer, it is very sad. I feel for those people who are kin to that person, who is directly related to that person, who have maybe they're in an area where there's constantly been issues with that police department. Okay, that is quite possible. Okay, that I'm not gonna say it's not. However, because something is happening in one area or it's happening to other people, does not mean it's going to happen to you, or at least not in that same fashion. So there I say again that to my son and my daughter, I'm not going to raise you to hate America because of America's so-called past sins. A lot of bad things happen, but I do believe you can do great and be wonderful in this country. But if you decide to leave, that's up to you. But I want to raise you to be proud of your country, be proud Americans, and also realize you have nothing to be fearful of, okay? Even if you cross evil people.